Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to today's event on delivering exceptional buying experiences with Dynamics AX and Infor CPQ. I'm Jason Gumper from msdynamicsworld.com. Thanks for joining today. And joining us to present is Chuck Stewart, Senior Account Manager for Infor CPQ. As we get started, please know that we do invite you to add your feedback and ask questions. During the event, I know Chuck will be saving some time at the end to take any of your questions. You can use the Q&A block that you should see to the right of the main presentation window. Feel free to put those in at any point, and we will have them ready to go at the end of the session. So, without further delay, please allow me to welcome Chuck to start things off.
Yes. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're located in the country. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today. Today I'm here to talk about the Infor CPQ solution and how it helps customers deliver buying experiences that exceed expectations, especially when associated with Dynamics AX. It's all about the buying experience. All of the industry gurus talk about the buying experiences more than any other aspect of the customer relationship in today's environment. Business Week quotes it as, "Forget about market share, stop worrying about your competitors. The companies that are succeeding now put their customers first." The customer experience, as it's being defined, is all about convenience, consistency, being relevant, empowering the customer to make their own decisions on their own time, and being able to offer that experience in a very agile environment. CPQ in the buying experience, as we refer to that, when we talk about convenience, we refer to it as being the application being addressable on the web, mobile, whether it be through your dealer channels, through in-store kiosks, or through any type of a social network environment that your customers may be using. When we talk about consistency, what we refer to is that we're asking, we want your customers to use the same model for that product and pricing across all of the different sales channels. Relevance refers to the context of the product and how the priced offerings based on segmentation and the responsiveness of that access. Empowerment simply refers to the ability to receive, approve, quote, buy, and pay with status updates. Agility, of course, is the ability to react to market and buying behavior changes across new products, targeted promotions, and even including rebates. And of course, extensibility, delivering the promise of company uniqueness and branding yourselves to your customers. Our customers do a fantastic job of speaking for us. Quaker, a window and door manufacturer, talks about how CPQ is driving continued and steady growth year after year. Seneca, a manufacturer of PCs and servers, loves to talk about how their costs have been reduced by eliminating errors, returns, and rework through the implementation of their Infor CPQ application. And Huddig, a buildings products distributor, credits Infor CPQ for differentiating themselves in the market by making them just flat out easier to do business with. All of those things we find are critical to being able to thrive in today's marketplace. Infor CPQ helps discrete manufacturing companies design, market, sell, make, and deliver configurable products. Some examples of the micro verticals that we've worked in and have experienced success include industrial equipment, high-tech companies, specialty vehicle manufacturing companies, building products, construction equipment, measurement devices, boats and watercraft, and of course medical devices. The impact of the customer experience as it relates to CPQ is fantastic. 64% of the consumers say the consumer experience is more important than price when deciding who gets their business. Another great stat is that the number of positive experience it takes up to make up for one poor one is 12. That's a fantastic number when you experience how difficult it is to be able to gain new customers in an ever-competitive market. It all comes down to knowing your customers. Today, customers expect to easily and quickly find whatever information they need whenever they need it. So the goal of your company is to make sure that you're delivering the right content to the right audience at the right time. We've seen that delivering that information has significant payoffs. The ability also to address different customer desires as part of the overall buying experience, help them to get better product knowledge, helps you to address different geographies, different age, and even different languages, and of course the business relationships and the roles. The translation of all of that means that offering the right unique product at the right location, at the right price, with the right features and support creates that positive buying experience. The Infor CPQ addresses tough customer challenges. Like, for example, we help customers who are facing flat, declining sales, increasing costs, and even brand commoditization. Customers facing flat, declining sales that are the result of products that it could be hard to sell, reps that aren't productive, or who have long lead times for introducing new products. We help customers facing increased costs that are driven by order errors, rework, and scrap, and a lot of duplication of manual efforts. We also help customers facing challenges around brand commoditization. Those customers are facing issues resulting from being difficult to work with and perhaps even offering more cookie-cutter types of products. We do that by offering a complete solution. This slide gives a great example of how we can take our application and we can take multiple different user experiences and wrap them into one single experience for one single point of contact available 24/7, 365. We offer those applications that have terrific end-to-end value, complete through the quote-to-cash process or the source-to-pay process, also coming at it from the perspective of the design-to-deliver process. We're able to take multiple data points, craft them into one customer buying experience that delivers a terrific, powerful return on investment for your decision to implement the tool, as well as the customer buying experience. The application, the Infor CPQ tool, offers robust capabilities. I'm going to highlight 5. The application offers easy configuration of complex products. It offers, of course, multi-channel quoting and ordering, the ability to use dynamic images, drawings, and models throughout the customer buying experience, the ability to produce compelling proposals, and, of course, anytime, anywhere access. Let's look at a couple of these. A nice stat is that 89% of companies expect to compete primarily on the basis of customer experience rather than on price point or product differentiation in the next 2 years, according to Gartner. That makes the ability to take the information that you have readily available and to craft it into an environment that allows your customers to access the information and to build their own environment for how they want to do business with you more important than ever. The Infor CPQ application makes it easy to select and configure complex products with a powerful and visually appealing experience. This is an example of how a gearbox manufacturer uses a variety of techniques to guide the user to the right product, whether it be through images, using radio buttons, or even drop-down selection boxes. The tool also ensures that only valid options can be selected and can even be set up to include additional features, options, or accessories to help upsell the customer. The Infor CPQ application also provides a manufacturer-branded self-service selling portal to empower all of your sales channels, whether they be inside sales, outside sales, regional managers, dealers, distributors, manufacturers, reps. All will have the ability to use the Infor Configure Price Quote application to correctly order products and to create their own customer buying experience and how they interact with you. The Infor CPQ tool has powerful visualization capabilities to support the selling and the manufacturing experience, whether it's through static lookalike images like you see in the bikes, or automated real-time rendered images like you see with the boat, or even 2D drawing or assembled 3D cab models as you see with the door and the pump. These capabilities can be used to provide visual confirmation of what the user has selected, in addition to being used downstream in the manufacturing process, which helps reduce errors and drive the overall cost of doing business with your company down. The Infor CPQ application can automatically assemble a variety of documents the user needs to form a complete and accurate proposal. We hear time and again that this is probably the single most point that really completes the customized user buying experience. On a case-by-case basis, the users can select whether they want to include things like cover letters, spec sheets, warranty information, terms and conditions, marketing collateral, you name it, it can be included. And it all helps to form a better relationship in a one-on-one manner with your customers. And of course, whether you're working at your desk, on the road, or even shoulder to shoulder with your customer, the Infor CPQ application is accessible anytime, anywhere, and on any device. So, the Infor CPQ application enables you to design, market, sell, make, and deliver configurable products. It helps you address tough customer challenges like declining sales, increasing costs, and brand commoditization with a complete solution that provides robust capabilities. That drives real value for you by increasing your sales, reducing your costs, and helping to differentiate your brand. The Infor CPQ applications helps you to increase your sales because you'll be able to quote in minutes, not days, which can drive more quotes for your business. It also allows you to have faster new product introductions to help you grow market share. And of course, complete personalized proposals that I mentioned lead to increased win rates across the board. The application will help you to reduce your costs. It'll do that through providing for fewer returns because of the self-service quoting and ordering application. It will lead to less scrap and rework because you'll receive correct manufacturing information the first time through the process. And, if desired, it can help you to eliminate headcount in your company because you'll automate non-value-added activities. All those things make it better and easier to do business with your company. The Infor CPQ application will also help differentiate your brand. It'll do it by providing fast, easy-to-use tools that make it easier to do business with you. Offering a superior buying experience often results in increased customer loyalty. And having more product options available in a 24/7, 365 manner supports your efforts to meet an increasing set of customer demands. The Infor CPQ application is all about delivering buying experiences that really matter to your customer. What our goal is to help understand the experience that your buyer is currently having versus the experience that they want to have. The tool is used to deliver a buying experience grounded in what the buyer actually wants by focusing on moving the buyer to the next steps in the process at the time that they deem most important to take that next step with you. Remember, buyers primarily want two things. First, they want help when they want help making better decisions. And secondly, they want it to be easy to get to that information and then finally make the actual buying decision. And so the goal is to treat your total communities of buyers consistently across all the channels. Having a common configuration model for pricing and product selection becomes the centerpiece for how you treat your customers and how you drive that buying experience. As an example of what can be done with some of the new configurable user interfaces forms, take a look at the regular Apple environment. What you're seeing here is there's a guided selling of selections and options, including the price. You see a nice text box over there that's continually updating as the user goes through the selling process to remind people of where they are and also let them know that they're available at an instant's notice to be able to help guide them through the selection process. And of course, the summary is continually changing as the user makes those selections. We took this as an example of a terrific high-end environment, and we took our application and said, hey, we're able to do much of the same things with our customized buying experiences. We added some additional styling rules applying to mirror the experience and the layout of the selection flow of Apple's web store. And we believe this type of environment allows you to take whatever type of information and display that you're interested in and being able to provide it back to your customers in a manner that they most want to do business with you within. This is an example of having the guided selling of options and selections, have multiple containers and sizes to remind people of where they are. The styling is real easy to change using the multiple fonts and the colors around. And again, the same type of text box and the same type of summary information box, all is readily available. And this is one example where you can use the same exact information in the common set of configuration rules to tailor it to however your customer would like to be able to do business with you. Additional styling rules are applied to provide even a more elegant experience, perhaps geared to an older consumer, by applying a different theme to the exact same layout. If you change just a couple of the style variables for a specific display element within the theme, you can get a complete different look in just minutes. And this can all be tailored to exactly who your customer is, where they're perhaps accessing the information from, and even as far as a channel-by-channel type of implementation. The Infor CPQ application delivers real value and delivers real results to our customers. Great Plains has been able to decrease costs by eliminating the need to hire more customer service representatives to keep up with their increase in sales volume. And a company like Wausau has differentiated their brand by providing an improved professional buying experience. And of course, the Infor CPQ application delivers real value with real results and real returns. The value of the increased sales plus your reduced cost divided by your total investment means that you should expect somewhere between a 5 to 8x return on your overall implementation. We have experienced customers in the 12 to 15x type of return on investment, depending upon what types of business problems they're looking to solve with the initial implementation. So why should you buy the Infor CPQ application? Well, let me highlight 5 of these reasons. Number 1, we believe we're the best product in the market space. We have one solution for all your needs. We have an application that works with all of your systems, expertise that you can count on, and we're extremely focused on customer go-lives. Let's take a couple minutes and let's explore a couple of these. We believe we have the best product in the market, bar none. We have a fast, easy, complete, modern application that provides a great user experience. It's fast because it facilitates rapid configurations, modifications, and changes, and it's modern because it's built on a standards-based technology form. And probably the most important as it relates to this presentation and our customer implementations over the last couple years, it provides a great user experience because all the information that you and your customers need is available in just one place. So let's take a minute and let's look specifically at the Infor Configure Price Quote solution and what we've done specifically to address some concepts as it relates to Microsoft AX and how we can help their customers increase sales, reduce costs, and differentiate their brand. What does CPQ for AX manufacturing support accomplish? Well, 3 primary objectives are allowing configurable products to use the lean functionality found inside of Microsoft AX. We're constantly looking to bring out the most accurate information, and of course always we're looking to reduce manual effort. Let's take a look at each of those real quick. The lean manufacturing concepts found in AX are really all about the production flow. A couple of touch points here is the ability to take all of the possible sequences for those activities, have them defined by the predecessors and the successors for each activity, allow us to take all that data and to create a very natural flow for each of the activities. That allows you to figure out whether or not inventory is picked or produced. You have the option to do both, of course, or neither. An activity can simply be a continuation and work in process in this concept. We also support the ability to set up Kanban rules. Kanban are defined as a series of activities from the production flow that are assigned to an item, whether it's semi-finished or finished. The specific series of activities is referred to as a Kanban flow. The rules can be event-based, they can be scheduled via MRP using the standard MRP rules and the logic, or they can even be fixed quantities, where they always maintain a static number of active Kanbans. A Kanban can also be viewed as an order inside of the application. You process the Kanban in order to satisfy the demand from which it was created. There's also a very cool separate scheduling board where jobs can be moved around and you can drag and drop them. All that data can be pushed directly into Microsoft AX from the Infor CPQ application. So when we talk about manufacturing in AX with CPQ, what we're really referring to is labor times for lean are managed by applying a throughput ratio to the standard activity time. These are held on a lean schedule group associated with the item, and we use a configuration ID that's added to the lean schedule to help group items to qualify the throughput ratio to a specific configuration. Inside a CPQ, each configuration needs to have those unique labor times based on the features or the options selected over some generic base model, and these configuration-dependent labor times are applied to one or more activities on the production flow, including the Kanban rule. Then there's a cool lean schedule group for each activity or work cell, and the application then populates the lean schedule group items with those throughput ratios for the newly calculated throughput ratio for that specific and unique configuration. Another feature is the ability of the Infor CPQ application to support generically dynamic bill of materials and routings for all the items in AX. A dynamic bill of material and a dynamic routing can be generated in AX as we define it in the configuration application, and we can pass that data directly to it. It all depends on how the manufacturing material rules are defined. They can be set to items, phantoms, peg supplies, or even vendors. We use a pre-existing bill of material and routing to associate a bill of material line item in AX for the following item types directly as is defined in the manufacturing rule. The market driver in our stated roadmap ER integration space, Microsoft AX, so this application supports our reduced cost value proposition. It's directly aligned with the elimination of non-value added activities, which is a concept of lean, and our simple Kanban integration rule provides increased accuracy, which also further supports our reduction in cost initiative. The Infor CPQ application provides one solution that meets all of your organization's needs, whether it's in engineering, marketing, sales, or even manufacturing. For engineering, you can get 2D and 3D design automation based on standard templates, and it can help you automate your specials handling. For marketing, you can get a consistent product presentation delivered to multiple sales channels. For sales, you get fast and easy quotes with personalized proposals, of course with the ability to cross-sell and upsell along the way. And in manufacturing, you get accurate bills, routings, and shop orders that are needed to pass the information directly from your initial customer and their buying experience all the way through to the manufacturing floor so that you can deliver what they in fact ordered. And of course, it's all about helping to create a competitive edge. The ability to organize the collaborative interaction with your customers and to be able to tap into your total community. It's all about the power of the customers combined with the power of your employees. Your goal is to tap into that. Of course, the Infor CPQ application will also work with all of your systems, whether it's ERP, CRM, or CAD. Infor also has all the expertise that you can count on. There are some companies who have software and technology expertise but lack a deep understanding of your industry. And there are other companies who have the software and industry expertise but lack knowledge of today's technologies. At Infor, we're fortunate to have all three. We understand the discrete manufacturing industry. We understand how software can be used to enhance your business. And probably the most important, we understand how to apply technologies to help bridge the gaps between the three. At Infor, we're focused on getting customers live and getting them results, not just selling software. But don't just take my word for it. Pick up the phone and call any of these customers and ask them for yourself. They'll talk about a successful implementation driven by knowledgeable people with software that was proven, where an initial ROI strategy was put in place up front, and it was delivered on the back end. Why should a company do business with Infor? Well, we are the third largest and fastest growing enterprise software company in the world. We've invested more than $2 billion in products over the last 3 years. We're a company with a global presence with 70,000 customers in 194 countries. And we also have the vertical industry expertise you need to be successful. And finally, our applications are built for the enterprise, the internet, and for social business. So the next step, we have an open invitation to meet our people. I'm going to pass it right now to Tim Roth, who's going to help us to actually see the application in a live mode. Tim, I'll pass it over to you at this point.
All right, and Tim, I'm going to take you off of mute here.
All right.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great. All right, let me jump over and share my screen here real quick.
All right, we see that.
Great. All right, I'm actually going to jump over to a live working instance of AX. And so here's what I'm going to do. Based upon many of the things that Chuck was talking about there, we want to show an example of how this tool is going to work in the context of maybe making it easier for, let's say, myself to do an order inside of AX, because I want to show that AX integration. We'll use an AX order. We'll launch into the Infor CPQ configurator. We'll configure product. We'll see some engineering documents getting created, some engineering drawings getting created. We'll, from that experience, generate a dynamic routing. We'll generate a dynamic bill of materials. We'll see that all flow back into AX. This is just going to be a sliver of a whole CPQ solution. This is not going to necessarily show ways that we're going to go out and extend this to the sales channel or extend this into a documentation, but certainly those things can be arranged if you do have questions and interest in those things. Let's jump in. I am in an instance of Microsoft Dynamics AX right now. You can see if I'm on my home screen, I can navigate around here. We do have now a link that we put in here where the product configuration management is a navigable click, enabling me to begin to create a sales order, let's say, from that screen, from that window. Goes into a sales order window where I can tell it I want to create a new one, thus prompting me for some customer information. Let's say I'll do Sparrow Wholesalers and click OK. It knows right away that I'm ready to start adding an item into this overall order after it's gotten my information from this particular customer, etc. And the item I'll configure today is going to be a simple wood door. I type that in there. It recognizes what this product is, and it enables for me, underneath a product and supply menu choice, the ability to configure this product. It recognizes that in my item master, the wood door is a configurable item. So as the customer, I don't have to guess or try to understand what the customer wants off the fly. I can actually launch a configurator directly from that line item in the AX order. The configurator launches and starts to show me things such as an image of a door on the right side. On the left side, it guides me through a series of questions that enable me to pick the customer specifications. Does the customer want cherry, hickory, maple, or oak wood, for example? Back here in the background, here is still the order ready to go inside of AX. The configurator is linked in, and it's just right here in the foreground. That's okay. We'll keep it here in the foreground. We'll keep that visible back there. As I go through and navigate, I can choose options for, say, the type of wood. If I choose a type of wood, it's going to prompt me now for a stain color. And there's filtering in here that if I pick different woods, it's going to show me different stains. So there is intelligence and logic in here. I'll choose some natural hickory wood or some maple, toffee. And you can start to see the changes that occur by that plank of wood on the right side. So it's going to visualize the product for me as I go along. The stick profile, Roman OG. Well, I can click that link and see what the other options are and see it in a drop-down format. A Roman OG, a square stick, a quarter bead. If I don't know exactly what those things are, I do have an image button that enables me to visualize those different choices and options in real time on the screen. So I can choose an option from there, and it's going to populate the field for me. I'll do the same thing on this profile panel. If I don't want to see it in a drop-down form, I can see it in image form. I'll choose a nice scoop panel. Now it starts to draw a picture of the door over here in a moment, and that's because it has enough information through some defaults. On the second tab, I can see that there's some settings for my width and my height and my thickness, for example, and having known those things, it can draw the door for me in what we call our 2D automation functionality. So this is actually parametrically accurate to the specifications that were already put in there. So a 30-inch wide by 80-inch door, if I actually show the dimensions, you'll see them drawn on here. Here's 30 inches by 80 inches in real time. If I change that, let's say I change that door from a 30-inch door, maybe I'll make it a 35.25-inch door. The door will widen to 35.25 inches. Maybe I change the style. Maybe I want to arch the panel, something like that. I got an arch panel up here. The side rails of the door are set at 4 inches right now. That's called the style, S-T-I-L-E, of the door, and I can see that's a field right here that's referenced. Let's say the customer wants that to be a little bit wider. I'll change that 4 to a 6, and you'll see those side rails immediately get wider, and now they're 6 inches. The customer says, I want that a little bit wider still, so I'll change that 6 to a 7, and we get a message. It takes away my drawing and says a maximum style size is 6 inches. Please enter a valid style. So there's validations in here that will prevent me from entering values that cannot be produced on the shop floor. Part of what Chuck was talking about earlier about making it easier to do business, so you're not having to call a customer later saying you submitted something we can't build. They can know that information up front. Also reduces scrap and rework. A lot of ease in here, a lot of power. I can come down here and tell it I want to order some hinges on this door. It will expand out a frame or another set of questions for my hinges and takes away the drawing until it knows how many I want. 2, 3, or 4. Let's say I want 4 hinges in this case. Well, it calculates where 4 hinges would go on a door like this and adds them to the drawing for me in real time so I can see them in their space. I'm getting a price up here of $420. I can click down through and view some different details and just summary information to see where that might come from. And I can see this is a very simple example of adding in a base price with some up adders for cherry wood, style, and extra hinges to come up with a total price of $420. It can generate an intelligent part number if I needed that for later on in my ERP system. And I can see a summary of all the answers I gave all the way through the configuration as I was walking through it. Maybe I need to make a change. The customer says, oh, as I look at this, I decide I don't want the scoop panel. Well, rather than have to navigate around and try to find where that was changed, I can actually click on it from right here, and it'll take me back to that tab and back to that question where I gave that answer, so I can change the panel to what the customer might want instead. That would change the drawing if needed, and might change the price as well. I have a finish button available to me up here in the corner, which tells me that all of my answers have been given to the satisfaction of my logic. When I click finish, I find myself back where I left off in the order inside of AX. It has returned data. So here's the cherry wood, a 35 1/4 by 80-inch door in the cherry cider stain with a $420 price tag. So here we're seeing the back and forth, forward and backward from this order out to the CPQ configurator, sharing data, returning it back, full circle, two-way integration. Now, what else has it brought back and forth for me? Not just those values, but it's also dynamically generated some other information. So if I expand out my line details and look at product information, I can see that it will have generated a subroute and a sub-BOM for this particular quote and this particular line item. I can go into here and I can look at the details, for example, of my routing structure for this cherry door, and I can see that it's going to follow through a few steps for attaching rails, inserting panels, attaching more rails, left side and right side, and then attaching hinges. And any one of these different steps can come with different details and data passed in from the configurator, including different descriptions for their positions, etc. Again, full disclosure of information back and forth between AX and the configurator and back, so you can truly make dynamic orders on the fly. That's an example of the routing structure. I can close that, and I can look at the bill of materials and see that there's also materials that are being allotted and assigned to the construction of this particular door. So overall, what we've got now is a system where users can go through, generate dynamic orders, dynamic bills of materials, dynamic routes, dynamic pricing, all in one place in one interface. This is an example of doing it from inside of AX. Again, we have ways and means to do this from other places, web-based tools, etc., that can pass data into AX and continue the extension of that selling convenience for your customers. If you have interest, we're certainly happy to show those types of functions and abilities. So at that, let me close that order, find myself back where I started off. I will pass things back now to Chuck and your host, and let us know if you have any further questions.
Great. Thanks, Tim. That was a great
Chuck,
demonstration.
you should have control again.
Yeah, yep. Thanks so much. That was a great demonstration of how all the way through that buying process, the customer is able to view information. As they select the different features and options, you saw that 2D drawing even flex to be able to be instantly updated. That same data is available wherever your customers would need it, whether it be on the web, directly from inside the application as your internal employees are working for it, and of course it all integrates directly with Microsoft AX to help make sure that what the customer orders is actually what's manufactured and then finally delivered. We're open for questions at this point. I think a couple have come in, and Tim, why don't you talk about, the first question is about the integration of AX with the Infor CPQ application. It says we mentioned the routing and the bill of material touch points. Where are the other touch points?
So it can also bring forth and bring through attachments and documentation, so that drawing that got created can be brought through and included as in a line item along with the order. Both systems are built on the same platform of Microsoft SQL Server on the back end, and the configurator is able to read those Microsoft tables both from itself and from AX. So if you have pricing data inside of AX and such, you can pull that data through as well. That sounds like that's the essence of the question. They are very deeply integrated with the back end, so it's very thorough.
Good. I have a question about proposal generation. The question is, how difficult is it to load all of we have lots of specs and features, how difficult is that implementation process? That's a little bit more of a wide open question.
Sure. Let me say a couple words about the document automation process. First, what it does is it uses Microsoft Word as the basis of its templates. So you make templates using Word, which is ubiquitous across the industry, and then it has a data plugin, of course, that enables it to do things like merges and such like that, and we take advantage of that. So you specify your data points that you want to incorporate in your templates and documents. Through CPQ, you write the rules logic to tell it, okay, I want to use these templates, apply this branding and this logos, etc., and this data, and it goes out, looks it up, pulls it together, and constructs an output then in the form of either Word documents or PDFs in a matter of just 2 or 3 seconds. And then you have full dynamic documents. As for how hard or easy that is to set up, I mean, it's an exercise, of course, in knowing your data points. There's one simple query that gets written to access those data points, and then it's just a matter of plugging the data fields in where you want them to be, and write the rules logic to know which templates to pull forward when the customer wants them.
Terrific. The next question talks about changing business processes. If we've implemented Microsoft AX, we have standard practices and policies. If we didn't want to extend those out to our customer base, how connected are they? So it sounds like that question is more about, can we run the Infor CPQ application one way and present one thing, and then when the data comes back inside of our 4 walls, not have to change a lot in order to be able to use the application?
Sure. So it's one configurator, whether it's used within AX or whether you use it to extend out through the web. So you don't have to rewrite all your logic for both environments. However, you go through what's called a view to get to the configurator. Everybody does, whether you're doing it through AX inside your 4 walls or whether somebody's doing it from outside. And you can control through that view what their experience is. So maybe the people inside your 4 walls can see certain fields that people outside your organization can't see, even though they can configure the same product. If you're selling, for example, in Canada and you want some people to have an experience in French, if they log in with a certain profile, they see everything in French rather than English. So you can have a very dynamic experience for those users. People outside your 4 walls, you generally do not give them access to your ERP system, and they don't need it. I showed it today from inside of ERP so you can see that integration, but they can get through it through a web service, which we call it the sales portal, They go in, they create quotes, they launch the configurator, they get everything lined up to exactly the customer specification, settle on a price, generate proposals. When they're ready, they click Submit Order, and that's when the tool interfaces with AX rather than the user, and that helps with your security.
Great. I think that also speaks directly to the uniqueness of the customer buying experience and how it can be different from customer to customer, whether they be asking for the application in a different language or perhaps even in a different user interface environment. So
exactly.
Good question and good answer. Hey, I have a question around implementation. Standard implementation times for the application. Why don't you let me handle this one? The implementation of the software application, of course, as you saw, there are the 5 different components of it. But the process that we would normally go through would be one of creating a series of a data model and then rolling that out typically in phases. Normally we work together to set up the right configuration rules. We'll discuss at that point whether or not we want to integrate 2D or 3D application capability. And once we get those rule sets configured correctly and we begin to directly connect it to the Microsoft AX environment, and we're satisfied with the results and that it's creating an accurate routing and bill of material, it's then usually a relatively simple process to extend that into the sales portal functionality that Tim referred to. And past that, Tim also mentioned the implementation of the document automation tool, which of course adds a lot of value to really allowing your customers to become truly self-servicing in how they do business with your company. Hey Tim, we had a quick question about also the different ways that the application can be set up to display the information. I think we covered that a couple different ways, but why don't you just go through the different types of screen setups that we have available on a field-by-field basis?
Are they talking about displaying the information like colors and fonts and branding, or like displaying the drawings?
And drop downs and radio buttons and things like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, the things that the display of the information, I guess, is the same as you would expect to see pretty much on any internet environment. There's, drop downs, there's typable drop downs, there's radio buttons, there's the image displays you saw when we showed the different species of wood, there's check boxes. There's just about anything that you've seen on the internet before for clicking something to enter data is valid.
Great.
I guess to broaden that answer a little bit, there's a lot of functionality in displaying the user interface. It uses style sheets behind the scenes, but we have built an interface actually that makes that even easier, so you don't have to be a style sheet expert. You just have to tell it kind of what sorts of colors and themes and flavors you like, and then you can apply those in big, broad strokes to large portions of your configuration experience. And then finally, displaying your images on the right side. Those can be any valid CAD output. So for example, SolidWorks, you can output SVGs, JPEGs, DWG files, all that sort of thing, and those are all valid as part of your display of your drawings.
Great. Okay, I think that was our final question. So what to do next? Contact me directly if you have any questions or areas that you think Infor might be able to help. Again, my name is Chuck Stewart. My phone number, 513-708-1295. My email, chuck.stewart@infor.com. We have a terrific video available. Go to Vimeo, 878-12151, and view it. You can also view that video directly from our website. Visit our website at infor.com/CPQ. Fill out a quick form and you'll be able to view it. It's an 18-minute excellent overview video of our application in use at a couple of our customers. Very good. Jason, I believe that ends the content piece of it.
Okay, well, Chuck, Tim, thanks so much for presenting today.
You're very welcome.
And
thanks for
to
having
everyone
us.
All right, excellent. And to everyone in the audience, thanks for your attention, for your questions. We have recorded today's event. We'll be making that available quite soon, so please be on the lookout for an alert on that. And with that, we are going to conclude today's event. Thanks and have a great day.